Hey guys, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a full tour of the brand new Porsche Macan Electric on the interior and on the exterior. So I'm currently at the world premiere press drive of the new rear-wheel drive version, which we have here, and also the 4S, but we're not allowed to talk about driving impressions before October 15th. So that's why today I'm only shooting the exterior and the interior tour, but those videos are coming out later of both the rear-wheel drive version and the 4S. So if you don't want to miss out on that, I would highly recommend you guys to go and subscribe to the channel down below. That also helps me out a bit because more than 80% of you aren't subscribed. So if you subscribe and we can get to 50,000 subscribers before the end of October, I'm going to go on a large road trip somewhere in Europe. Maybe I'm going to go to California to the LA Auto Show and test a bunch of electric cars down there. So if you want to see any of that, we're very close to 50,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you very much. So the new Macan from the front, I think, is a very attractive car. It has been growing on me lately. Is it as nice as the Taycan? Well, I don't think so. Even though this has some cool details like the blue headlights, this is an option. It looks really nice from this angle. It really is growing on me, and this in the frozen blue metallic is also a very cool color. I think I've spec'd the Taycan I have now, a Cross Turismo, in this color before I purchased it. You know, I chickened out, so mine was white, but I kind of regret not going for this color because this is a spectacular color. This also has the crayon interior, which is also very nice. So up front, we have a frunk, which you can open. Can you do this like you can on the... You could do this on the Taycan, but we have to use the key and then it pops up, so that's nice. So with the Taycan, there is a latch. You have to unlatch it, so that's really nice that they have done that. That's a cool function, I really like that. So up front here, we have 84 liters, and it's kind of a different shape than in the Taycan. The Taycan is very deep, but it's not as wide. But this has a much bigger frunk than I think they have in the Audi Q6 e-tron, which this is based on. So this is interesting. You have room for cables, you have room for I don't think you have room for a carry-on, but you most definitely have room for a gym bag. And the fact that you can just, there we go, open it from the key like this, I like that. It's almost missing close function also. So guys, let me know what you think of the front of the new Macan. I think it looks really nice. I really like, you know, that split headlight design. There are ducts here also for aerodynamics, and also this front splitter is a nice option. All the way down low, we have the radar sensor, which I think they have hidden nicely. Overall, a very clean Porsche design. So if we move over to the side profile, this car is about 4.84 meters long, if I'm not mistaken, and built on the same platform as the Audi Q6 e-tron, the PPE platform, so it shares, you know, the same 800-volt architecture. But this is a very different shape to that Audi Q6 e-tron, which is very much an SUV, like a boxy shape. But this is much more of a fastback. If you see here, this slopes a lot in the rear, and it kind of is like a Cayenne coupe more than a Macan, the old version, because it does look more like a coupe, right? So that's probably done for aerodynamics. This has a drag coefficient of 0.25 CD, which is actually very good for this type of vehicle. And overall, I think, you know, the profile is very attractive. If you are looking for, you know, a boxy SUV, this isn't the shape for you. This is more of a sporty take. And if you come a little bit closer, this has some cool details. So first off, we have these 22-inch wheels, which I do really like. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can have these body colored also, but you also have the electric badging here, which is in the black painted option. And you can also take a look at these side blades, which you can also option in the body color. You can also do carbon fiber. I think as standard, they come unpainted. And in this, they are painted black. So this car does have a lot of options. I mean, it's a Porsche, you can option everything. I think you could do the mirrors painted, you could do the mirrors carbon fiber, you could also do roof rails. This does have a panoramic sunroof, but it doesn't have the roof rails. And I think that's how I would spec this car. You know, I actually ordered one of these back in March, but I canceled my order because after I saw some videos and some footage of it, to me, on the interior, it is a downgrade from a Taycan, which is what I daily as my private vehicle. And I really love my Taycan. So I can't wait to get back to Norway and test drive that after having this in fresh memory. But seeing this in person, it's a much more compact size than the Taycan. And also the interior is going to be a lot more roomy. This doesn't have the optional rear wiper, which was kind of lacking when we were driving through some bad weather earlier to get here from the airport. But I just think it looks super clean. No roof rails, no, rear wiper. And this also has the optional blue Porsche badging. And instead of being enclosed like with the Taycan, this is in 3D. It is really cool. Also, you have the Macan badging here, also painted in black. Overall, a very clean design. No, I do like the look of the Macan, but it has gotten a lot of flack and criticism for the rear maybe not being the most attractive, but seeing it in person, I do think it is nice. So on this side we have, I think this is the AC charging port. Okay, there we go. You press it and then it goes into the body. It remains to see how that works in Norway in winter. So this is the AC charging port. Do you close it? How do you close it? Hopefully close it once we start driving. And then on the other side, we have the DC charging port. So this is the new rear wheel drive version of the Macan that is available now on the configurator. Oh, there we go. So this is the AC charging port. So this has a 95 kilowatt hour usable battery, and this being the rear wheel drive version, the entry level version of the new Macan. It has more than 650 kilometers of WLTP rated range, single rear electric motor with 360 horsepower, and does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.7 seconds with a 220 kilometer an hour top speed. So in Norway, it starts about 40,000 kroners, or about 3,500 euros less than the all-wheel drive version. It remains to be seen if they're going to sell a single one in Norway, because in Norway in winter we have cold weather and we have snow. But here in the south of Germany, I think this is a nice option if you don't want to go to the Alps, that is. So lastly, before we hop into the car, I want to show you guys the trunk, which is 540 liters on paper. Does this have any, this has the Bose stereo, so you have a subwoofer here that takes a bit of room. With the Burmeister, I think it takes all of this room. But if you don't option the stereo, you're going to have a little bit more trunk space. So compared to a Taycan, it doesn't look a lot bigger on, well, the trunk, but I think it's a more practical shape. Like the Taycan is very low but wide. And like you can barely get a kid's bike. Like my daughter's kid's bike, I have to fold down the rear seats when she wants to take her bike on a trip in my Taycan Cross Turismo. So I think this is, on the surface at least, more practical. So stepping into the new Macan Electric. So this has the crayon interior. And again, I kind of regret this because this spec, this frozen blue metallic with the crayon leather, is originally what I spec'd my Taycan Cross Turismo as, but I went for a white exterior and a black interior. Yes, it's now wrapped in yellow, so it's a little bit more, out there than it was originally, but I really like light colored interiors. The only thing about this color is that you can't get the upgraded leather. So this has leather on the dashboard, you have leather on the seats, but you can have it with upgraded leather here on the doors, here on the dashboard, and also on top of the doors. This doesn't have that. I think that's an option well worth when you're spending this amount of money, because every time I get into my Taycan after driving anything else, the first thing is the smell. It smells like an expensive Italian handbag, which is it's just awesome. And then there's leather everywhere. It feels like a truly luxurious product. And this does feel like an upscale product. It just doesn't feel as luxurious or as expensive or as exclusive as the Taycan. But that isn't to say that this isn't a nice interior, because compared to the Audi Q6 e-tron, which this is closely related to, this interior blows that interior out of the water. I mean, beautiful leather on top of the dashboard. The switchgear is nice. You have these really nice and weighty controls. You have a physical HVAC control center down here, which I think we first saw with the Cayenne facelift. So physical volume button, now a physical HVAC button, so you have a volume knob I wish my Taycan had this. If it had this, it would be perfect. Quality also really, really good. It's practical. You have cup holders, you have storage. I mean, compared to a Taycan at least, this is a lot more practical. This has some really cool options. So you have these blue seat belts, which are completely crazy. And you also have the face of the Sport Chrono Clock in the same manner. This also has the Race Tex roof liner, her headliner, which also gives you race text on the sun visors. So overall, it just feels like a very expensive and luxurious product. You have the GT steering wheel, which is a really, really nice steering wheel. It feels nice. Leather here. You have the Sport Chrono switch there. Also window switches. I mean, Porsche switchgear is some of the best in the business. Also these sports seats, like they feel nice and comfortable. You have adjustment. You can, the bolsters on the cushion you can adjust in and out. The bolsters on the back you can adjust in and out. The length of the thigh support. I mean, Porsche seats are awesome. And just look how awesome these blue seat belts look. I mean, they're kind of crazy, but I would most definitely option this in a car like this. So compared to the Q6 e-tron, which I actually have on loan in Norway, this does feel a little bit more cramped. And I have to say, like, I started this channel owning SUVs, and I like SUVs, but I've grown fond of low sporty cars, like getting into my Taycan or the Audi e-tron GT I had before that, just stepping low and just sitting low and having, the dashboard wrap around you does feel special. So for me, this doesn't feel as special as a Taycan or even an Audi e-tron GT, but quality is really nice. And you do find a nice seating position. I mean, Porsche, super amounts of adjustability in the seat and also in the steering wheel column. There's a lot of room. So let's hop into the rear and see how much room I have behind myself. So hopping into the rear, and I mean, people looking at a Macan electric versus a Taycan are looking for a car that has, this was an annoying bug that's flying around. People are looking for something that's more practical. Like the Taycan doesn't have big rear seats. It's basically a four-seater with a very small middle seat, the Taycan. Also, there's a huge transmission tunnel in the Taycan. At least here, it is flatter and it feels more spacious. But because of these big sports seats and because of the roof sloping, like I'm 5'11" behind myself now, about 180 centimeters, I don't have a lot of room. And I'm wearing my hair low now because it's short. But when my hair was long, I would wear it a lot higher and I would probably be touching the roof line. So if you're like 185 centimeters, 190 centimeters, like 6'2", 6'3", I think you're going to struggle a little bit here with room. But I'm fine. And there's room for my feet, there's room for my knees, but it's not roomy. So let's hop into the middle here and see what that is like. Yeah, so you can see here, this seat is set. I mean, we could probably move this up front, but there's not a lot of room. Like, I don't think you would be comfortable with 3 adults sitting in the rear. But you can at least fit 3 adults, which you can't do in a Taycan. So I think, like, for rear seat space for kids, I think that Audi Q6 e-tron is a better bet. But what you can't get in the Q6 e-tron is optional blue seat belts. I mean, I love Porsche. I have a Porsche now, and I probably want to upgrade to another Porsche in the future. But I love the fact that you can just option the car in so many crazy ways. So there we go, guys. That is what I'm allowed to show you today. No driving impressions. That was my complete exterior and interior tour of the brand new Porsche Macan EV. And I have to say, I really do like the way this car looks on the exterior. I do like the interior. And if you're looking for a Porsche instead of an Audi, I think this is a car you absolutely should check out because it really lives up to the Porsche exterior. It really lives up to the Porsche interior. But if you want to know how it is to drive, you'll have to wait until October 15th. So subscribe to the channel, guys, and then that video will be out before you can say Porsche Macan rear wheel drive. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.